This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Adam Cellini, and we have John Scalzi with us as well. And thank you for joining us this morning. A morning after just constant weather warnings all night.
All weekend, it
warning
seems like.
warning watch, tornado.
Right.
We had it all.
Exactly. Not even just here on the Suncoast, but across the country, from California to Mississippi, Georgia, and obviously affecting us here.
Absolutely, a little bit. And we're going to head over to John Scalzi now for a first check on that weather. John, how are things looking now?
Well, a lot better, that's for sure. First, Adam, welcome to the morning show here. We'd like to have you here, and we have a pot of coffee on the boil for you. The good news is the severe weather threat is gone. That does not mean the rain showers are. We have about 5 minutes or so, moving on to Anna Maria Island, then into Holmes Beach, Longboat Key. A very strong line of showers and thunderstorms. These storms will produce some gusty winds, maybe 30-mile-an-hour gusts, etc., but they are not severe. There's no rotation in these cells, and we're not expecting to see anything except some very heavy rainfall and some gusty winds accompanying some of these storms. So you may wake up this morning and see this downpour of rain occurring and wonder what's going on. Well, this is not severe weather stuff. After these showers move on through, I think we'll start to see a period of much improved weather. But if you're traveling this morning over the Skyway Bridge, just take note, these cells will produce some really rough driving over the course of the next half hour, 45 minutes until they move out of the way. They're moving pretty quickly, though. We still have a variety of wind and water related advisories and warnings up for the area, however. This is a lousy boating day, no doubt about it. We have a lake wind advisory, which is basically a small craft advisory for inland bodies of water. So that's up for today. A gale warning for our offshore waters as well. We're going to have some very strong gusts out there, and seas could be as high as 10, 14 feet. So obviously terrible day for boating. High surf advisory, meaning even the beach waves are going to be hazardous for inexperienced swimmers. Just stay out of the waters, obviously. Rip current advisory is also up through the day today. All of these wind related. The good news is we have no outlook from the Severe Storm Prediction Center that says we might get severe weather. That threat is gone. Yesterday we had a high risk. I have never seen a high risk issued for our area by the Severe Storm Prediction Center, which is the national agency responsible for looking out over the country and seeing where the severe storms may be. Wind speeds are going to be brisk today. Sustained winds across the region still coming in at about 30. Consequently, all of those advisories up for our area waters. Not a good day to be in the water. Stay out of the water. Stay safe. And after these showers come through this morning, things will tame down quite a bit. We'll have the complete forecast coming up in just a few. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, John. Taking a look at the traffic this morning, it is pretty clear as far as traffic does go, but you want to keep an eye out, as John said, for the roadways. They are wet, they are stormy. It is something you want to keep an eye out for as you're heading out the door this morning. In Manatee County, looks like traffic may be picking up on 301 in that direction, but other than that, roadways look clear. Heading on to Sarasota County, all is clear this morning for your morning commute, and heading on to South County, again, no traffic in that direction. Well, this morning we're following the aftermath of the severe weather system that's sweeping over the Gulf Coast states and has claimed at least 18 lives.
That's right. 14 people have been killed in Georgia and 4 in Mississippi. In Adel, Georgia, devastation is all around. A tornado blowing through this small rural town, leaving debris everywhere in the midst of what were once families' homes. This tornado, part of an unusually strong long track of intense, fast-moving twisters. Locals caught up in it did all they could to stay calm.
We all came in the hall and put our granddaughter down, and we covered each other, and we just laid there and we prayed.
7 of those killed this weekend were from Adel and lost their lives in a trailer park that was absolutely flattened by these storms.
Meanwhile, Mississippi was hit by a separate tornado on Saturday that killed at least 4 people. In Hattiesburg, officials are assessing the damage, with the Weather Service saying the twister was likely on the ground for 15 miles. Now, that's the same area hit by a violent EF4 tornado just 4 years ago.
When you look at things like this, you realize that life is beyond that. You know, you find out what's precious.
On this street, homes were destroyed along with businesses and churches. This morning, locals trying to find some sort of peace after a long, devastating weekend. Meanwhile, here on the Suncoast, some folks experienced that severe weather as well. We have an update for you on a mobile home in Manatee County that lost its roof to the storm yesterday.
Yeah, neighbors say the roof hit the home next door and sat in the street, causing crews to block an area of the road. We have ABC 7's Ray Collins joining us live from that area this morning. And Ray, how are things looking out there now?
Adam and Sarah, relatively peaceful here right now. Hard to tell there was any damage going on here whatsoever. Let's roll some video, though, from last night to show you the scene out here at Heather Hills Estates. We are sort of east of Bayshore Gardens off 53rd Avenue in Bradenton. This is video of the trailer home that suffered some damage, and this is the only area of town that we've heard there is some damage. I had a chance to talk to some sheriff deputies half an hour ago, and they said all quiet in Manatee County. Talked to the EOC in Sarasota County, quiet there as well. But this is what one of the neighbors said she heard last night here at Heather Hills Estates.
We heard a big bang. So we came out, the wind's blowing everywhere, and we saw the roof of the house that directly is behind me in the street, along with debris everywhere, all over the cars, everywhere. There was people coming outside. People were freaking out because the wind was still blowing and they thought that whatever it was still in the area.
So we are waiting for daybreak now to find out the extent of the damage to this home behind me here in Heather Hills Estates. Next half hour, we'll talk to some folks on Siesta Key about the situation there last night. For now, Ray Collins, live in Manatee County. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Ray, and stay safe out there, and hopefully everyone made it through the night okay. Another area that is seeing some problems due to the severe storms, an area that is prone to flooding, Holmes Beach.
Last night, some serious flooding started at about 6 p.m. That's when the storm originally made landfall, and it continued into the night. The main streets there, including Marina Drive, were completely flooded, if you can take a look at that on your screen. Now, the worst of the storm did make landfall at the same time as high tide, and obviously that really contributed to a lot of the street flooding that we saw in the area. Now, we talked to business owners as well as some residents about that flooding and what they think it could mean for their area.
We've been coming to this island for the last 8 years, and I have never seen this road flood like this before.
This street here, it does flood when it's real bad with a full moon and stuff, so that's something we do always try to keep an eye on.
Right out front here, it gets pretty up really high to the cars, and then going home it's really bad, but eventually it goes down. So yeah, we have been concerned with this weather lately, but hopefully tonight will be a good night.
Now, the worst of that flooding did pass earlier in the evening. We have a live look there this morning. It looks like the flooding is still going on there. You can see it pooling and ponding a little bit throughout the roadways in that direction. But as we said earlier, keep an eye out for the roadways as they remain wet and not easy to navigate through. So keep an eye out for that if you're heading through Holmes Beach area this morning to your daily commute.
And down in Venice, the heavy winds causing much of the South Jetty parking lot to flood. Earlier last night, the waves were crashing high over the rocks and onto the land all along the island, water levels rising drastically. The Heigl Marine Park boat ramp was nearly underwater. That did not, however, stop many people from flocking to the pier to watch that storm move in. And ABC 7 is continuing to monitor this line of severe storms and the aftermath from them. For constant updates on those storms, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com, as well as our Facebook page. You can also download our app. Just search for Suncoast Weather. You'll get notifications directly to your smartphone anytime there are watches or warnings, street closures, or flooding problems.
New details this morning about the storm damage sustained in Columbus, Georgia. Now many locals are waking up to their cars being wrecked as trees and debris have crushed them overnight. The cars are not the only things being damaged, though. Take a look at this. A gas station and convenience store is completely totaled as the gas pumps are down and the front glass of the store is blown out, all from that storm.
We had trees lodged in the roofs of houses. Cars, my vehicle, a tree hit it, smashed it, just laid it down to the ground. And other neighbors, sustained fence damage.
Now, this is only one of the areas touched by the storm, but gives you an idea of its severity. Also, lots of power lines down and the roads were blocked throughout the night. This area is only 2 blocks away from where 4 people died. Locals continue to grieve their loss this morning, though many were able to find safety.
In Alabama, the extent of the damage not quite as severe, but there is scattered debris. In Henry County, some minor flooding, and in one neighborhood, huge trees were uprooted. Luckily, those who live in the area were able to seek shelter, and no one was hurt.
My husband went out back to look towards the south. He came up under the carport to come inside for us to go to our safe place, and it happened in like 2 seconds.
Neighbors are now working together to try and clean up that mess.
And mudslides and flooding also being reported in California, where 2 women were nearly swept away at the water's edge in San Diego. Those 2 women were struggling to stay above the water after giant waves wiped them off a cliff and into the water. Take a look at that video. Some onlookers rushed in to save the day. A bystander then jumping in, pulling one woman to safety.
I got her and I threw her over my shoulder and I tried to carry her in.
Moments later, lifeguards jumped into the choppy water, but it was dark and took them nearly 40 minutes to find the second woman, who was immediately rushed to the hospital. And John, Adam, my mom lives there in California in the San Diego area. And let me tell you, she was showing me some video on her Facebook, and that water is up to my sister's waist up there. So
it comes
our house
fast,
is just
fast-moving water as well.
Exactly, and it's just, you know, as the day continues, she's waiting to see how it plays out.
Well, I hope they're safe.
Yeah.
We'll start to see a reduction in the weather they're having there. A lot of the weather is going to be moving toward the east coast of Florida, right, or east coast of the United States right now, around the D.C. area, back through the Carolinas. For us, we're going to keep our eye on high tides today, though it doesn't look like that's going to be as big of an issue as it was yesterday, so that's good news. Big storms moving through the area right now. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, lots to look forward to. Well, still ahead, the Orioles getting involved in Sarasota County. What programs will give students the area the chance to work with them?
And coming up a little later in the hour, women's marches across the country are paying off. What new law is being enacted in some states after thousands have taken to the streets to fight for reproductive rights.
Coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller, The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram, and Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Take home a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Or stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Renegade for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
That's very gusty winds during the overnight. Obviously, those are going to continue on throughout the day today. We'll be watching these wind speeds, 25 miles per hour, possibly close to the coastline with some gusts even higher. We've had some near 50-mile-an-hour gusts over the course of the nighttime hours. Right now, west wind coming in at about 18. A lot of cloud cover out there, and in fact, some pouring rain in some parts of the Suncoast. 69 degrees, the current air temperature. Don't expect too much of a variation there in air temperature with the cooler air back behind the frontal boundary, which is now just to our south. We're going to see some winds that are going to be bringing in some slightly chillier air. I wouldn't call it cold because it's about seasonable for this time of year, but it will keep our temperatures pretty flat over the next 24 hours. One line of relatively heavy rainfall moving through the Suncoast right now. Then back behind that, not much. We'll look for a scattered shower or two possible through the morning hours, but this is really the heaviest of the stuff that we are going to see today during the daylight hours. And right now it's producing some fairly heavy rainfall in parts of downtown Bradenton. It's a fast-moving system, though, so it should be out of here pretty quickly, and it's leading to some very heavy, almost blinding rain, I would say, across the Skyway Bridge right now. So if you could delay your departure 20, 30 minutes to go to the Skyway Bridge, that would be a good thing. Showers and thunderstorms continue on this line all the way down to the south and producing some fairly heavy rainfall across areas of Longboat Key in about half an hour or so, and then down through areas of Siesta Key, St. Armands, Lakewood Ranch coming in about 8 o'clock this morning or a little before. I think you'll start to see those showers move through. Pretty fast line. Cloud cover will be with us throughout the day. Not going to see much change there, I don't think, as long as these winds stay out of the west. Now, we had some flooding, of course, across areas of Holmes Beach yesterday. Now, I don't think that we're going to see that issue again today. We do have a high tide coming up at around 11:30 this morning, but that high tide is going to be a minor high tide compared, astronomically speaking, compared to what we saw yesterday when the tide was almost a 2-foot tide. This one will be about a 1.1-foot tide, so a lot less. The higher tide comes tonight, and by that time, this high-pressure ridge will have settled in back behind this front in such a way that our winds are going to shift. They won't be directly west. They'll be more of a northwest wind, so that will also help in our little tidal surge that we're getting from that onshore wind flow. Tomorrow, that high-pressure ridge will be really bringing us some lovely weather, though it will still be a little bit breezy. But today, cooler temperatures, windy, all kinds of, as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, watches and advisories up for water and wind-related issues. Calmer tomorrow, though, as those winds die down just a little bit. Here's the tide level out of the Port of Manatee, and you can see yesterday we had almost a 3-foot tide, but the current level is more like about a 2-foot tide. So I think we'll even see that decreasing as we head into the evening and even afternoon hours because the winds will be shifting just a little bit. So right now we're heading toward a low tide, so that's good news for folks across the Suncoast. The high tide, as I mentioned, coming at about 11:30 today. The RPM computer model shows what to expect today after this blast of heavier rain moves through. We get these scattered showers on and off throughout the day today, clearing overnight. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine in the forecast. Should be just a really nice day tomorrow. Thunderstorm outlook puts the risk off the coast of the Carolinas and Virginias today so that we do not have any threat of severe weather any longer, despite the fact that we're going to get some gusty winds contained in these thunderstorms as they move through. By that I mean maybe some 30-mile-an-hour gusts such as that, making driving a little tough. Obviously, don't go in the waters. Gale warnings are up for our area waters, lake wind advisories. Watch for that west wind at 20 to 25 knots, gusting to 40. Seas are going to be high today, and rough, so just stay out. As we head into tomorrow, things are a little nicer. A lot of sunshine, breezy conditions. Next front comes through on Thursday, and that one will maybe knock our temperatures down to below average for a couple of days. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, John. Taking a look at your Suncoast roadways this morning, looks like traffic is picking up in Manatee County, especially over the Skyway Bridge. Also, remember to stay alert when you're driving across that bridge with the rain expected throughout the morning. Heading down towards Bradenton, looks like we also have some traffic picking up on 301 and 70. And then moving on to Sarasota County, looks like you are free and clear of any traffic in that direction this morning. And in South County, traffic picking up a little bit towards Venice, but also free and clear, so remember to keep an eye out on the roadways this morning as the fog, rain, and levels expected to rise for water.
Well, today marks the start of the Orioles Health and Fitness Challenge on the Suncoast. The project is a collaboration between the Orioles and Sarasota County schools. They are partnering up to encourage healthy lifestyles among middle school aged kids in the area. The project was launched last year, and now it will return and focus on teaching students about physical fitness, healthy eating, and tobacco-free living. And Sarasota County is once again going to bat with the Baltimore Orioles and the Big League Reader program. They are teaming up to promote young leadership and foster a love of reading. Children who sign up at local libraries and read 3 or more books during February can earn a prize, such as free reserved grandstand tickets to the Orioles' March 11th spring training game against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Ed Smith Stadium. This is the program's 7th year going on. Children's ages 6 and older are welcome to participate. Well, baseball is back in the air. Spring training tickets going on pre-sale this weekend for our local teams at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. Thousands were lining up hours before the sun was even out. Between now and the end of spring training, the club says they will sell over 120,000 tickets. Those tickets available online and over the phone, but the diehards say that annual pre-sale is still the best option.
Here you can come and say, I want this seat up here, and chances are you can get it. Online, no, you can get that. They're going to tell you to take this seat or that seat.
I heard 1:30 somebody showed up, but 4 a.m. is the regular time. We have a group of people that are here every year, and certainly they want to be the first in line.
The Orioles' first home game will be against the Pirates on February 26. And up in Bradenton, the Pittsburgh Pirates also hosting their spring training ticket pre-sale over the weekend. The Pirates have 18 home games starting on February 28th against the Blue Jays. Next Sunday, the club will be inviting singers to their stadium for national anthem auditions. The tryouts are from 10 a.m. to noon and open to anyone. The team is looking to fill spots for 3 different national anthems, including the U.S., Canada, and Dominican Republic. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Yahoo is under investigation why U.S. authorities say they are looking into the company's data breach. And coming up at 5:30, just stick around.
Your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
We consider the first 60 minutes the golden hour, the time that we can do the most to affect how a patient's going to do. I think what motivates all of us is that at the other end of it, we see them, smiling and happy and going back to their families. That's our greatest satisfaction. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is just an amazing place to take care of people.
Welcome back. It is 5:25 this morning, and Samsung now releasing details into what caused their Galaxy Note 7s to catch fire.
ABC's Candice Gibson and Ariel Reshef have the details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Samsung reveals more details about what caused the Galaxy Note 7 smartphones to explode.
The tech giant blaming battery manufacturing and design flaws for the fiasco. Samsung was forced to recall the popular phones and stop production over the problem.
The Securities and Exchange Commission is reportedly looking into whether Yahoo told its investors quickly enough about those massive data breaches. The Wall Street Journal reports the first disclosure came 2 years later.
The hacks may scuttle Verizon's acquisition of Yahoo's internet operations. And Dubai has a high-tech firefighting system for the waterfront. It combines a jet ski and a jetpack. Check it out.
The Civil Defense Director says it'll cut response time. Says there's no need for a fire truck or even a hydrant. Just drop the hose and go. They do things bigger there in Dubai, don't they?
They do. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Edward Jones.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetie. How was your first week?
It's long.
It'll get better. I'm at the Edward Jones office, like Sue suggested.
Thanks for doing this, Dad.
So I thought it might be time to talk about a financial strategy.
You mean pay him back?
Knowing your future is about more than just you.
So let's start talking about your long-term goals.
Multiplied by 14,000 financial advisors, it's a big deal. And it's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
When did mixing food with not food become food? Thankfully, at Panera, 100% of our food is 100% clean. No artificial preservatives, sweeteners, flavors, or colors. Panera, food as it should be.
Get a big screen TV starting at just $19.99 a week, all without credit, only at Rent-A-Center.
I'm Alan Cohn. Solidarity on the Suncoast. Americans unite after Trump's inauguration, calling for peace and unity in these tumultuous times.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Gold fever is at an all-time high in the Sunshine State with the new Gold Rush Doubler family of scratch-off games. Everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. With over $1 billion in total cash prizes, the Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
So get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, severe weather hits the Gulf Coast hard. We'll take a live look at the damages and conditions hitting our area.
Plus, Donald Trump has been in office for 3 days now, but already facing some backlash.
And millions of women march in solidarity against our new president. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Adam Cellini, and pleasure to be here with you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to join us this week. We're excited to have you here on the morning show.
Yeah. Like we were talking about, it's been a long night of weather warnings and watches. We're going to head right over to John Scalzi for an update on that local weather. John, how are things looking out there right now?
Well, much improved compared to yesterday late afternoon and into the evening hours, that's for certain. Though we do have some fairly heavy rainfall moving across parts of the area currently. These are non-severe. Let me stress that. These are not going to be tornadic producing storms. They are not even going to be severe thunderstorms, but they are going to be some fast moving storms coming in at about 30 miles an hour. So they will move swiftly across the area and consequently contain some fairly gusty winds, maybe some 30-mile-an-hour gusts with these storms and some heavy downpours of rain, but moving so quickly that the total rainfall amounts will be on the light side. Right now, downtown Bradenton seeing some fairly light rain compared to what they saw about a half an hour ago. Those storms now moving into Parrish and east of the interstate in northern Manatee County. These storms a little bit closer to the interstate as you get back down into southern Manatee and into Sarasota County. Lakewood Ranch seeing some heavier storms. The stuff in Parrish producing some fairly heavy rainfall with some pretty gusty winds as well, and some frequent lightning strikes as well around Moccasin Wallow, so watch for that. In Lakewood Ranch, it's mostly just heavy rainfall and gusty winds. We're not seeing a whole lot in the way of any kind of lightning pops with this particular line. And down to the south, it's not quite your turn yet, but it's on its way. Lombo Key having just seen some heavier rainfall. That's now moving into downtown Sarasota. But from Osprey down through Venice into Inglewood, you're about anywhere from, well, in Osprey, about 10 to 15 minutes away from seeing some rainfall. Further to the south, Venice and Inglewood, about a half an hour to 45 minutes away from seeing this line move through. Once it does, things will be much improved, but it will still be windy today, and there are many advisories being issued, wind and water related for the most part. Lake wind advisory, that's basically a small craft advisory for inland bodies of water. There's a gale warning for our area waters in the Gulf and in the Bay, so please do not be a boater today, as those winds will be very strong and the seas very high. Temperatures will remain fairly flat this afternoon and not rise much above where they are right now. Pretty typical for this time of year in terms of a daytime high. Nighttime lows will run a little on the warm side. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, thanks a lot, John. And topping our news at this half hour, we're continuing to follow the latest on severe weather across the coast.
Yeah, the death toll in the southeast expected to rise throughout the day today as severe storms spawn several tornadoes.
There have been at least 28 reported tornadoes since Saturday, and ABC's Kendis Gibson has the latest.
Severe weather slamming the south. This morning, the storms hitting Florida, downing trees and knocking out power. In Adel, Georgia, debris strewn everywhere after a tornado strike. The remains of what were once family homes. At least 7 people killed in this small town alone. ABC's Gio Benitez arriving there overnight.
This is one of the hard-hit areas here in southern Georgia, one of many places right now that we learned have been hard hit. And just take a look behind me. We have these giant trees toppled over. This really is the only spot we were able to set up our camera because there is still a search and rescue effort underway in this area.
This new video in Louisiana near the Texas border showing homes ripped apart. A tornado tore through here, packing 135-mile-an-hour winds.
This is our driveway right here.
On the West Coast, growing concerns about mudslides in Southern California. This wall of water rushing down a hillside and filling the street.
In all the years I've been here, this is way worse than anything I've seen.
Flash flood near the Cajon Pass, trapping these people in a pickup truck, both pulled to safety with the help from firefighters and a raft. And massive waves, more than 30 feet high in Monterey Bay, breaking apart this historic ship. Here's what the SS Palo Alto used to look like. The World War I vessel built into a pier, the powerful waves flipping it over and separating the stern from the rest of the ship. Kendis Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Wow, well, here on the Suncoast, some folks experienced that severe weather firsthand. In Manatee County, one mobile home lost its roof completely to the storm yesterday.
Yeah, neighbors say the roof hit the home next door and sat in the street, causing crews to block an area of the road. ABC7's Ray Collins is joining us live from that area this morning. And Ray, how are the conditions out there? How is the debris still on the road? And basically, what are things looking like?
Adam and Sarah, since last time I talked to you half an hour ago, conditions have changed quite a bit. Listening to John Skulls, you'll hear that various bands of rain and weather will certainly come through. Last time we talked, it was pretty peaceful. The worst seemed to be over, which it might be. And then suddenly it began to rain hard, very windy. We had to change our positions. We're now here at Bayshore Gardens and 14th Street West, where it's windy. 15 minutes ago, it got really bad really quickly. Last night, our cameras were out on Siesta Key. We talked to some folks. Some wait staff was sent home early. We also talked to a vacationer from Vermont. He didn't expect this during this trip. Take a listen.
I've never been in a tornado before, so I'm kind of excited to be out in the weather a little bit, to be honest.
Why are you excited?
I've just never had a tornado in Vermont before, so never been in one.
Well, certainly in downtown Sarasota last night, it was relatively peaceful. We kept on waiting for more to happen, never quite did. Again, across the area right now, the EOC in Sarasota County is shut down. No action there, no need to be, they say. I talked to Ed McCrane earlier this morning. Also talked to some Manatee County Sheriff deputies who also say outside of some branches and a few power outages, not too bad. We'll talk more at 6 o'clock, though, about the house you referenced a few seconds ago, Adam. Perhaps a roof blown off. We'll take a close look at that and have more from the Suncoast out in the field where it can change on a dime. I'm Ray Collins. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, it certainly can out there, Ray, and thank you very much for that update. And you can see those roads behind Ray, still a little wet.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
Something to
dark
be aware of when you're making your morning commute this morning, because you know, you never really know, especially so dark in the morning.
Absolutely.
If you're going to hit a puddle and kind of shift a little bit with your car.
Doesn't take much.
No,
if you're in one of those little sedans. And we are going to take a look at traffic now in our area. The Skyway Bridge is open, but as John Scalzi mentioned, high winds in that area, so be careful if you're driving into the Skyway Bridge. But up in Bradenton, things looking relatively clear. No accidents so far. The main roads, State Road 70, State Road 64, clear and moving pretty well. Let's head into Sarasota, where there are no accidents as well. The interstate, US 41 and Fruitville all moving along. And down in South County, the pace picking up a little bit, but things looking clear.
All right. Well, heading into political news this morning, President Donald Trump has now been in office for 3 days.
Meanwhile, millions of people have marched from across the globe against him. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
President Trump kicks off his first week on the job at the White House today.
We have set up meetings with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Trump is set to speak with foreign leaders, including Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. But it was a rocky first weekend. On Saturday, speaking at the CIA on day one of his presidency, in front of the memorial wall of fallen heroes, Trump battling it out with the media, accusing the press of inventing his feud with the intelligence community.
I just want to let you know the reason you're number one stop It is exactly the opposite.
And then hours later, in his first appearance at the podium, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer railed on the media's coverage of Trump's inaugural address crowds.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period.
But the pictures don't lie. This is the crowd as Obama gave his first inaugural, compared to the crowd on Friday as Trump delivered his remarks. Both photos taken from the Washington Monument. Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway stood by Spicer's account.
You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that.
Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
And across the nation, millions marching in opposition to President Trump and in solidarity for women's rights.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to speak up and be part of such a massive national movement.
Trump's team is getting to work, but many of his cabinet posts are still empty. But today, the Senate is expected to confirm two of his nominees, Congressman Mike Pompeo for CIA Director and Rex Tillerson for Secretary of State. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Well, in Sarasota this weekend, you may have seen a massive crowd covering the Ringling Bridge.
Yes, thousands of protesters marching in solidarity with an inauguration-related demonstration that happened worldwide. A much larger crowd than they anticipated. It stretched all the way across the bridge. Demonstrators holding signs that read, "Love Trump's hate and stronger together." The movement started on Facebook following Trump's election gaining momentum with an estimated 2.5 million marchers in more than 600 cities around the world.
We are not stopping until we make sure that this president understands that this country is for everyone.
It's just amazing, all the positive energy and the good thoughts.
Despite its name, the march was not just for women. Men showed up to show their support, as well as a group of protesters expressed individual concerns ranging from affordable health care to reproductive rights to racial equality, among others. And after the marches here and across the globe, some states are starting to take reproductive rights into their own hands. New York now making sure women continue to have access to free birth control and certain abortion services in the state, even if Obamacare is repealed. Governor Andrew Cuomo announcing state regulatory actions on Saturday. The state's new measures ensure insurance companies will continue to not charge copays or deductibles for contraceptive drugs and devices. Coverage for abortion services that are medically necessary will also be cost-free.
In other news this morning, authorities say one person is dead and 5 others are hurt after 2 men robbed a jewelry store at a shopping mall in San Antonio. The 2 suspects fleeing the store after the robbery when police say a Good Samaritan then tried to stop them. One of the robbers shot the Good Samaritan, killing him. That's when another man carrying a licensed concealed weapon then shot and wounded one of those robbers. The other robber then fled the mall, firing his weapon and injuring another man and woman.
She's in the store in there, and I'm worried sick, and I just had to get up here, and I actually talked to her, I texted her and told her Daddy was out here, and just worried sick.
Police are still looking for one of those robbers this morning.
And a huge inconvenience for travelers. United Airlines says their flights are up and running again after all of its domestic flights were grounded yesterday due to a computer problem. The ground stop lasted 2.5 hours. The company spokeswoman says a ground stop was used for U.S. flights because of an IT issue, but she did not give any other details. It is not immediately clear how many flights were affected. United Airlines and United Express operate more than 4,500 flights per day to over 300 airports across 5 different continents. It was a rough day to travel yesterday, especially around the state of Florida.
Exactly. Yes, it was.
Rough skies.
Yes, it was. And I just looked at some of the Delta arrivals at SRQ, and everything seems to be arriving on time, though there could be some delays because of some thunderstorm activity out there. We still have some gusty winds contained in some of the storms that are moving across the area. 40-mile-an-hour gust is certainly not out of the question. So 2 hands on the wheel if you're going to be out this morning. If you can delay your departure, so much the better. We'll have the forecast after in a second.
All right, thanks, John. Well, still ahead, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and catch yourself grinding your teeth? Well, you're not alone. And now new details on what you can do to stop that. Coming up next in Your Health Smart.
SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Teresa Witt.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500 starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Thinking about having surgery can be a scary thing. And to take somebody who's in severe pain, bring them in, take good care of them, and then get them out and back to their life is huge. We focus on minimally invasive approaches when possible, and oftentimes people can be back up on their feet in a day or two with a whole lot less pain than before surgery. We fix people's lives. We do.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, wind speed still up, coming in northwest now at about almost 30 miles an hour sustained. And over the last hour, we had some wind gusts up to 45. So that was contained mostly within some thunderstorm activity that's moving through the area right now. And after that's passed, I think our conditions are going to be much improved throughout the day today in terms of any kind of heavy downpours of rain, which some places are experiencing currently. 62 degrees the air temperature. We have a dew point of 58, significantly down from yesterday when our dew points were up there in the 70s, which summer-like dew point values. The amount of moisture that was in the air yesterday, boy, you really felt it, and it was clear that something was going on. We had an enhanced risk initially, then that was lifted to a high risk for severe weather yesterday by the Severe Storms Prediction Center. You just don't see that very often across the Suncoast. And currently we have virtually no risk of any kind of severe weather, so that's great news. One line of heavier storms moving through the area now will kind of be the last gasp of this system as we then enter into an area where we get just maybe some scattered showers and some light rain throughout the morning hours. Heaviest of the stuff right now is located to the north, but we do have one cluster of cells about to move on shore near Osprey and Venice. That'll be there in 5 minutes, and then we have some more cells out in Gulf waters. These could contain some gusty winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds, things like that, but non-severe in nature. And the tendency has been for these to weaken as they approach the shoreline. So we're looking pretty good right now. We do have some heavier showers moving toward Duet right now. If you're heading up 37, say, well, you may see some pretty gusty winds moving across the region. Right now, this particular cell has our Titan impact of 3.6, meaning that most likely what you'll see with this one is some ponding of water on roadways and some gusty winds as well. Non-severe in its Titan impact. As that moves past, then we start to see much lighter conditions across the region in terms of rainfall amounts, but the winds will still be gusty. Breezy out of the northwest, even windy at times, bringing these clouds across our region throughout the day today, so it won't be your picture-perfect kind of day. What we'll need to wait for is the winds to shift from west to a more northerly direction. Then we'll see less cloud cover around. That'll happen tomorrow as this high-pressure ridge begins to settle in. A couple of low-pressure areas, one ejecting out of California, moving into the Rockies, giving California a bit of relief from their flooding rains yesterday, but producing some fairly heavy mountain snows. That frontal boundary will be on our doorstep later in the week, but it won't produce anything like the weather we saw with this last front that has now cleared our area. We'll wait for high pressure to build in, some rough weather across the mid-Atlantic, and we get much improved conditions starting tomorrow. But chillier. You won't see the temperatures much higher than they are right now throughout the day today. Windy as well, and then calmer tomorrow. As those winds shift, as they reduce, we'll start to see better boating conditions. But for today, forget about it. We got a gale advisory, a gale warning up for our area waters, small craft advisory throughout the day, high surf advisory, rip current advisories. Stay out of the water. Lake wind advisories, if you're thinking about inland boating, forget about it. West wind coming in at about 20 to 25, gusting to 40 out there on the waters, but decreasing as we head through the overnight. I don't think we'll have those flooding problems along the coastline today. We have a high tide at around 11 to 12, depending on where you are, and it's going to be a minor high tide. Tomorrow, breezy, sunny, daytime high around 72. Next front comes through on Thursday with a slight chance of rain, and we'll look for some cooler temperatures then. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at traffic now up in Manatee County. The Skyway Bridge is open, but use caution. As John mentioned, there's some high winds in the area. That bridge is open, but be careful driving across. In Manatee County and up near Bradenton, things looking clear. No accidents so far this morning. Down in Sarasota, we got, looks like a little bit of a stoppage near 301 there, but the roadways are moving clear right now. An accident there on Tuttle Avenue. And heading into South County, things looking clear. Interstate moving well, and US 41 moving pretty clean all the way down there into South County. Well, have you ever caught yourself clenching or biting down on your teeth while you sleep? That would be weird if you caught it while you were sleeping, but if so, you may have a problem with tooth grinding. Yeah, it's a common problem and often happens during periods of anger or stress, but it can potentially be stopped or reduced by modifying your behavior. Now, most people aren't aware that they ever do it because it does happen during their sleep, which poses the biggest problem, obviously. Experts say grinding or clenching your teeth on a regular basis can not only damage your pearly whites, but can cause other issues by putting pressure on the muscles and tissues around your jaw. And even in some cases, the chronic grinding can result in fracturing a tooth or worse, a permanent loss. So what can you do to prevent this? Well, they say to talk to your doctor, your dentist, who may recommend a mouth guard to protect your teeth from grinding during sleep. You can also try to avoid anything that contains caffeine and cutting back on alcohol. Also, don't chew on pen caps or anything that isn't food, including gum. Well, still ahead, we'll stay with us. We'll be right back.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking dialogues of the Carmelites, in the medieval thriller The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Attention small business owners. Penn Funding announces the easiest and fastest business funding program, the Platinum Business Account.
We needed cash fast. Business is good, but this is an emergency. We needed some new equipment, and the banks wouldn't help us.
At Penn Funding, we like to say, yes, you're approved. With your Platinum Business Account, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more. This amazing new business account funding program is so effective, you could have the cash you need in just days.
I called, spoke with an agent who pre-qualified us, and connected me.
Call now for your Platinum Business Account. If you've been in business for at least 6 months, you could qualify for up to $50,000 or more in just days.
I called Penn Funding and had my money fast.
Need cash for your business? Call Penn Funding now.
Call 800-658-3433. 800-658-3433.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Start the year off right with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come drive the most awarded SUV of all time, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, or shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Stop by today and drive away in a new Jeep Compass for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Gold fever is at an all-time high in the Sunshine State with the new Gold Rush Doubler family of scratch-off games. Everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. With over $1 billion in total cash prizes, the Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
We are back. A long night of weather, but Scalzi, those surfers are going to be out today, aren't they?
I hope not.
Oh, they're going.
They're
the
not
high
supposed
winds?
to be, but they might.
I hope not. We'll have high surf advisories, rip current advisories, gale force winds. Yeah, not a good day to be in the water.
We don't recommend going out there.
Well, we don't recommend, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see you guys at the top of the hour.